That voice in your head is not you. Have you ever stopped to listen to that voice in your head and thought, where did that come from? Maybe it's a harsh critic, a nervous worrier, or a doubtful skeptic. It speaks with your voice. It knows all your memories, all your secrets. And so naturally, you assume it's just you. The real you thinking your own thoughts. But what if it's more complicated than that? What if that voice is also an echo? An echo of your parents, your teachers, the culture you grew up in, all the influential voices you've ever heard. This is the wild discovery that the voice you think of as you is often a collection of hand-me-down scripts, and for most of your life, you've just been the audience. The mind, it turns out, isn't always a sovereign narrator. Sometimes it's more like a social echo chamber, where the voices of the past show up wearing your face. Section 1. The Social Echo Chamber. Let's try a little thought experiment. Imagine a stranger walks into your house, plops down on your couch, and starts loudly listing every single mistake you've ever made. You'd probably want them out, immediately. But when that exact same voice is inside your head, you listen. You take it seriously. Why? Because you think it's you. The reality is, your inner voice didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It was formed socially. While we certainly use our inner voice for our own planning and problem solving, much of what we experience as my thoughts is actually internalized social language. It's learned self-monitoring. It's rehearsed identity scripts. It's the voice of what psychologists sometimes call internalized authority. Think about it. Remember the tone your parents used when they told you to be careful? That might now be the voice of your anxiety. Remember how a teacher praised perfection or criticized mistakes? That could be the voice of your inner perfectionist, the one that whispers, "It's not good enough." Even that constant, low-level hum of "you're falling behind" can be an echo of the comparison you feel scrolling through social media. These voices and value systems get downloaded into our minds long before we have the awareness to question them. They're the cautionary tales from our family, the rules of success from our culture, the definitions of worth from our peers. They become what you could call culturally scripted self-talk. It's all the shoulds and shouldn'ts that run on a loop. I should be more productive. I shouldn't feel this way. People like me don't do things like that. This isn't some personal failing. It's a fundamental part of how the human mind develops. We learn to guide ourselves by internalizing the rules of our social world. The problem isn't that the voices are there. The problem is that we mistake them for the absolute, unquestionable truth of who we are. We believe we're the speaker, when often we're just listening to a broadcast from a station we were tuned into decades ago. Section 2. The Neuroscience of the Echo. This might sound like a philosophical idea, but it's a perspective that's increasingly supported by tangible, scientific evidence. That feeling that your inner critic speaks with a borrowed authority isn't just a feeling. It seems to reflect the very architecture of your brain. Neuroimaging research suggests that self-talk doesn't happen in one single inner voice center. Instead, the act of thinking to yourself recruits a whole network of brain regions. It involves areas for language and hearing, which is why thoughts can feel like they have a voice. But here's the fascinating part. It also overlaps with what scientists call our social cognitive networks. Let me translate. The parts of your brain that fire up when you're judging yourself are deeply intertwined with the parts used to think about other people's perspectives, to check for social approval, and to anticipate social rejection. So when you're cringing about something you said yesterday, The neural machinery processing that self-criticism looks a lot like the machinery that worries, "What will they think of me?" Your brain often treats self-evaluation as a form of social evaluation. It's simulating judgment, even when you're all alone. This process often seems to be orchestrated by a system known as the Default Mode Network, DMN. You can think of the DMN as your brain's narrative generator. It's most active when your mind is wandering, reflecting on the past, imagining the future, and piecing together the story of me. But the stories it tells are built from the raw material it's been given. Our memories, our beliefs, and yes, all those internalized voices. So, the voice in your head may not be a single voice at all. It might be better to think of it as a committee. On that committee, you could have the parent as critic, the teacher as evaluator, the influencer as ideal self, and the culture as rulebook. Each one has a different agenda and a different tone, and you're the one sitting in the room, listening to them all debate, assuming it's all just you. Section 3. The existential pattern interrupt. So, if your mind is a crowded room of echoes, are you doomed to be a passive listener forever? Absolutely not. The most powerful thing you can do is not to silence the voices, but to simply notice them. This is the existential pattern interrupt. The moment you stop identifying with the thought and start observing it. From a psychological and contemplative perspective, one of the most powerful questions you can ask your own mind is this: who is speaking and who is listening? The very fact that you can hear the voice suggests you are not the voice itself. If you were completely identical to your thoughts, you couldn't observe them. This idea of creating space between the observer and the thought is what's known as metacognitive distance, or decentering. It's the beginning of freedom. Here's how you can start practicing this today. It's a simple 3-step process. First, pause. The next time you feel a wave of anxiety, shame, or self-criticism, don't just get swept away. Stop. Take a breath. That's the pattern interrupt. Second, listen. Don't judge the thought. Just get curious about its characteristics. What's the tone? Is it harsh, fearful, demanding? What's its core message? Is it about safety, not being good enough, failing? And third, here's the most important step. Identify the source. Ask yourself, whose voice is this really? Does that tone sound familiar? Is that my father's caution, my mother's anxiety? The shame a teacher once made me feel? The relentless urgency of social media? Give it a name. Ah, there's the imposter syndrome voice. Hello, productivity guilt. Oh, that's my old fear of being left out. By simply naming the voice, you are no longer fused with it. You are not a perfectionist. You are someone hearing a perfectionistic thought that you likely learned from your environment. You are not a failure. You are someone experiencing the echo of a fear of failure. The moment you can name it is the moment you can stop obeying it automatically. You take it from being an undeniable command and turn it into a negotiable suggestion. Section 4. Rewriting the scripts. Once you recognize that a thought is just a borrowed script, you're immediately handed a new choice. You can choose not to read from it. This isn't about waging a war on your mind or forcing positive thinking. That's just inviting another loud voice to the committee. Instead, this is about awareness and conscious creation. You are the author of your own narrative identity. Humans construct who they are through stories. Your inner voice is simply the tool that maintains those stories. For years, it may have been running on autopilot, repeating tales written by others. I'm the kind of person who always messes things up. Or, people like me don't get opportunities like that. But a story that has been written can always be edited. The practice is to consciously introduce a new voice, your own. When you catch an old, recycled script, you can calmly replace it with one that reflects your chosen values, not your learned fears. When the inner critic says, "You're going to fail and embarrass yourself," you can create that distance and reply with a new script. This is a challenge, and I am capable of learning from this, no matter the outcome. When the anxious voice says, "Everyone is going to judge you," you can introduce a new thought. I can't control what others think, but I can choose to act in a way that's authentic to me. This isn't a one-time fix. It's a practice. You are, in a very real sense, reinforcing new mental habits and weakening old, automatic ones. This aligns with the principle of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and change based on experience. You're training your inner dialogue to become less of a source of torment and more of a tool for self-guidance. This process of untangling your true self from the noise in your mind is one of the most profound journeys you can take. It all starts by listening differently. So I have a question for you. Whose echo do you notice most often in your own head? Is it a parent, a teacher, or maybe something from the culture around you? Let us know in the comments below. Sharing this helps all of us realize we're not alone in this crowded inner world. And if this gave you a new way to think about your mind, please give it a like and subscribe for more content that helps you understand the owner's manual for your own brain. Conclusion. For most of our lives, many of us believe that the voice in our head is the essence of who we are. Today, we've seen that this voice is often a social construct, a collage of echoes from our past. Neuroscience is beginning to show us how this might work, revealing that our brain's machinery for self-evaluation is deeply connected to our ancient need for social belonging. But this discovery isn't a cause for despair. It's the ultimate source of empowerment. A perspective found in many contemplative traditions is that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who hears them. You're the space in which they arise. And by learning to create a little gap between a thought and your reaction, you reclaim your power. You get to decide which voices you amplify and which ones you allow to fade into the background. So the next time your mind speaks to you, try this final quiet rebellion. Pause. Hear the sentence in your mind. Now ask, is this my voice or is it an echo of someone I learned to obey? The answer might just set you free.